Namaskara students, welcome to Karnataka, KCET and Boards. I'm Diksha Kaushal, your chemistry master teacher. And students, today we are going to talk about the most important topics that you should do and must do, the priority based topics for chemistry KCET. So let us start. But before that, understand one thing, that 30% of PU1 and 70% of PU2 is your weightage. So firstly, I'm going to take up the chapters of PU1 physical chemistry, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. First is mole calculation. Now students, see, this chapter directly not the questions are asked, but the questions are asked from mole concept and concentration terms, which is linked to solution chapter of PU2, right? So these two things are the basis of physical chemistry that you need to know. Next is direct question can be asked from limiting reagent and empirical formula. Second is structure of atom. Direct formula based question can be asked from Bohr model and hydrogen spectrum formulas. Next is quantum numbers to identify how many N, L, M or S, that can be asked. Next is electronic configuration that will be applied throughout your chemistry, right? Next is chemical and ionic equilibrium. Now from this chemical equilibrium, it's very simple, like law of mass action. You need to remember what is the formula of Kc and Kp, what is the relation between Kc and Kp. Then you have Lee-Chartlier principle, the dependence of temperature, pressure, all of these things. Next is pH and solubility product. Now pH of buffer solution, pH of different cases, strong acid, strong bases, strong base, strong acid, all of these things you need to remember. And the solubility product, right? Very important. Next is thermodynamics. That is the fourth chapter of physical chemistry. From thermodynamics, what you need to do: first law of thermodynamics and work calculation. First law of thermodynamics, direct formula and the sign conventions. And for work formulas, you need to know that for isobaric, isochoric, adiabatic processes, for all the processes you need to know the work formulas, right? How to calculate work. Next is criteria of spontaneity. Now this criteria of spontaneity, basically it's a relation between delta G, delta S and delta H, right? From where you can tell that whether this reaction is spontaneous or non-spontaneous. Next is entropy and heat capacity. Now from this, direct question can be asked based on specific or molar heat capacity, or direct question related to the entropy, right? Entropy, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, right? Where the disorderness is increases, where it is decreasing. Next is periodic classification. From here, the exceptional trends are asked. Next is isoelectronic species, the size, increasing, decreasing order of isoelectronic species. Then identify group, period and the block. They will give you electronic configuration on an element. You have to identify that whether this element belongs to which group, which period and which block. Next is chemical bonding. This is from inorganic chemistry, right? The second chapter. Now this is very important chapter, right? From here, direct question based on the shapes and geometries related to VBT and Vesper theory, then bond parameter related to molecular orbital theory, right? The paramagnetic, diamagnetic moment, all of these things, right? Next is PU2, right? Physical chemistry. Now it has 70% of the weightage, right? So let us see. First is ideal, non-ideal solution. Now solutions are related to some basic concepts of chemistry. You need to know the concentration terms, the mole calculation to understand this chapter, right? That is why some basic concepts of chemistry was important for you. Now it is having ideal and non-ideal solution. Now this is very important, right? Direct formula, Raoult's law based questions can be asked to you. Examples of ideal, non-ideal solution can be asked. Next is colligative properties. 4 colligative properties you have in your syllabus, and you need to know the formulas which have Van 't Hoff factor, right? Next we have electrochemistry. Now, redox reaction is directly related to electrochemistry. That is why I have not written redox reactions there, right? So, redox reaction, the basic concepts like oxidation, reduction, when the oxidation is happening, when the reduction is happening, how to balance the equation, right? That will be applied in electrochemistry. The questions that is most important in electrochemistry is Nernst equation, right? And I'm doing electrochemistry on this channel right now, so you can watch my first lecture on the live session, and I'm taking up another lecture on Saturday this week, right? Next is conductance, conductivity, molar conductivity, the Coriolis law, how to calculate conductivity of weak electrolyte, strong electrolyte, this can be asked. Last one is direct formula based question from Faraday first law and second law, direct formula based question, right? Next is chemical kinetics. This I have already completed on this channel. You can see and visit the chemical kinetics. 2 lectures I have taken up, right? Now, integrated rate law and half-life for zero order and first order. The difference in molecularity and order, right? The difference can be asked directly. The pointers you need to know. Next is Arrhenius equation, the formula-based question, and the graphical question based on this. All these topics I have already completed on this channel. You can go and visit that lecture and give your appreciation and your comments in the comment section, right? Next is coordination chemistry. Now this is inorganic chemistry, right? So this is very important chapter. Direct question are asked from VBT theory, right? Examples directly from your NCERT. Then CFT crystal field theory, directly examples from your NCERT. DD transitions, and now isomerism as well. So understand one thing, the isomerism in NEET and JEE is of another level, but for you, you don't need to deep dive that much into the isomerism, right? So direct questions are asked for KCET based on meridional, facial isomer, all of these direct questions are asked, right? Very simple it is. Next is DNF block. So if you understand coordination chemistry, then DNF block will be very easy for you. So here first thing is exceptional trend of D block, size, ionized energy, all of these trends. Oxidation numbers, the variation of oxidation numbers. Next is electronic configuration of specially F block. Right, D block has very less exceptions of electronic configuration. Like F block has like too much exceptions of this electronic configuration, right? Next is lengthenoid contraction, lengthenoid and actinoid contraction, right? What is the reason behind that? Next is reactions of directly from your NCERT, K2CR07 and KMNO4. These two oxidizing agents, direct relations from that, right? Next we have organic chemistry. So now the approach for organic chemistry, why I have clubbed these two things together, because the approach is different. When you do organic chemistry, start from GOC and till the end complete it in one go. Don't give breaks in between. Breaks in between means that don't do this thing, I'll start GOC now, then after 2-3 months, after completing GOC for 1 month, in 15 days I'll complete my GOC, after maybe 3 months I'll start with organic chemistry. No, this is a totally wrong approach, right? And those students also who are right now in PUC 2 and they don't remember anything of GOC, you need to go through that, right? Because you know, if you skip this thing, you will lose marks in this thing, even if you do PUC 2, right? So that's my advice to you. Start with electron displacement effect like inductive, resonance, aromaticity, hyperconjugation, all these effects. Then the stability based on that, acidic and basic strength. Next is isomerism, right? Isomerism, geometrical, optical isomerism questions are asked directly, especially from geometrical isomerism. Next is, now you have reactions. Now everybody tell me if you want me to make a video on all naming reactions that are important for KCET, right? I'll tell you that what are the names, like what are important for you and what are not so important for you. And in that naming reaction, in which naming reaction you need to remember the mechanisms, where you, mechanisms is not that much important, direct relation is important. If you want me to make a video on that, then let me know in the comment section, right? So now all naming reactions, right, in your PU1, hydrocarbons, and PU2, then you have distinguished test also, right? Next is mechanisms and intermediates of important reactions, as I told you, right? Some of the reactions like Reimer-Tiemer reaction, Coles reaction, they have very important intermediates. Dow's process has a very important intermediate, so that you need to remember. Next is last chapter, that is biomolecules. So from biomolecules, structures of from carbohydrates, glucose, fructose, sucrose, maltose, lactose, galactose, right? Disaccharides, monosaccharides, all these structures, right? The linkages, the glycosidic linkages. Next is amino acids and the peptide bonds, proteins, all these things. Now amino acids, basic amino acids, acidic amino acids also you need to remember. Next is DNA and RNA. What is the difference? What is the difference in the nitrogenous bases? What is the difference in the sugar that you have used in both of these things, right? So guys, that was all about today's video. Let me know in the comment section if you want one more video based on naming reactions, important naming reactions, and what you need to remember and how the questions will be asked from the naming reactions. Thank you so much guys, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you want more such videos from your Diksha ma'am. And students, do comment down what are your thoughts on this. Do you want me to make more such videos which will help you in your KCET preparation? Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.